Now, if you do not know what to learn, what career to build, what skill to pick, or what to do with the next year of your life, tonight is for you, and I mean it. If you are the friend of someone and like that, and then probably you know someone, you can just recommend this to them. No, I know the feelings, no, because I've been there. You sit down to figure out your life, and then 10,000, like, what do I really want to do with my life? I don't know. This is personal to me. Okay. So by the end of tonight, that will end. And not because, I also have everything figured. Now, one of the things I'm still going to say around that trap, right? Around that comparison trap is this. You cannot be looking at someone that is a professional in your industry, and then what you are looking at is becoming that person tomorrow. It's not possible. Look for where they started, just like you. You are confused. Look for where they started. Are we still together? Look for where the person started. You cannot start your career today and have the money, have the influence, have the advantage someone who has been in the game 5, 10 years ago has. It's not possible. You are not a magician. Even though you have 24 hours to learn in a day, you still cannot catch up in the next 2 or 3 months. It takes time. Give yourself time. Give yourself time. Do not compare, but then learn from them. All right, let's move on. Before we touch anything tonight, let me just move past this. Yeah, let me move past this. Now, tonight we are going to do two things. First, I'm going to introduce you to three frameworks, right? I'm not sharing my screen. Okay, I'm sharing my screen. So I'm going to introduce you to three frameworks professionals actually use to think about career growth. The ones that work, not one you just see on LinkedIn randomly. Then I'm going to show you how to apply those frameworks to your own life in real time. Now, there are three frameworks I want to show you. And this is not because I'm teaching university class or something, but let us with it. Now, I need to let you understand that some skills take 5 years. Some skills can be learned in 5 months, depending, right? And then the first one we're right, is the 70-20-10 model. This is the framework one. The 70-20-10 model. I need you to know. If you are watching live, I need you to type that, or probably make a screenshot of this and then share with someone, share on your status, so that someone watching your status can also join. Right, this is very important. A lot of people need to hear this, and they need to listen to this. You can share the live link with them, right? So we're talking about the 70-20-10 model. Now, this is a model real company use to train their staff, and the number comes from research on how this skill actually stick in real people. Now, the 70 there says that 70% of what you learn come from the actual work, come from doing the actual work. And this is one of the things that I want to prove with my life in the recent time, that people learn more by doing. There is a dimension of learning that only comes by doing. You need to understand that. There is a dimension of learning that is only possible by doing. You will not know how far you know something until you have practiced. So the best way to learn is to get into the work, get deep into the work, and then start figuring out something. Now, I will address something here. Some people, when they are encountering something for the first time, because it's their first time, what they try to do is that, oh no, there is a fixed mindset, and then there is the growth mindset. The fixed mindset is that, oh, this thing is hard. I'm meeting it for the first time. I will not learn. And then the growth mindset is that, oh, this thing is coming for the first time. Let me, meditate on it. Probably, do some. Let me just think about it, and I'll figure it out. So there is a growth and there is a fixed mindset. I don't expect you and don't expect yourself to not encounter problem. Now you will get to a point whereby your brain is going to tell you to stop. Do not stop. I know this can be somehow. This is not just an AI class any longer, but this is practical and this is just what it is. You will study to a certain point, and then your brain will eat that block. Now, the block your brain is eating is not tiredness. It is actually a threshold that you have set for your mind. So what you can do at that point is that push further for like 10 to 20 minutes. And if you refuse to give in to that, to that, it's just a feeling, and that feeling can fade away. I need you to just look at that feeling and then just look at the way it's fading away. So the moment you get to that point, I feel that you're actually not tired. It is your brain saying, "This is where I want you to feel safe," and it's not really a bad thing. But you really cannot do well. You really cannot go too far if you give in. So the moment you hit that threshold, do not stop. Try harder. Give yourself like extra 5, 10 minutes, extra 20 minutes. It's just a feeling. The feeling will fade. Sometimes you might even have headache. Instead of you thinking, oh, this thing is hard, think about this thing that I'm just looking at this thing for the first time. I'm going to get over it. This is the difference between the fixed and the what and the growth mindset. This is very important. I'm thinking I will even have part three of this. Oh dear. I think I will have part three of this. But let's just see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. So the 70, the 20, and the 10 model. Please, I need to emphasize on this. When you are learning anything at all, and then you feel stuck, it's normal because your brain is just looking at that thing for the first time. If you give in, you are putting limitation on, who you are. You are putting limitation on what you can become. You are putting limitation on your own life, on your own mind. That, oh, stop. This is where you should stop. But no, the moment you stop, you are reducing your mental capacity. The moment you stop, you are reducing the fact that you hit a roadblock or stoppage or somewhere doesn't mean that you should stop there. It is an attempt from your brain to tell you that, oh, this is where you have always stopped. Do you still want to go further, or you want to stop here? You want to stop your life here? So you are the one that will now determine, oh, I actually want to go far. So let me go 10 minutes. So the moment you now struggle to go 10 minutes, you discover that you will even develop more energy. If it is 10 minutes you can go today, do it. I'm not even saying 1 hour, even though it is 5 minutes. The moment you feel tired, and sometimes your body will be asking for a dopamine. So your body will be asking for dopamine, and dopamine is simply pleasure. Let me just get out of here. Now, 70% of what you learn comes from doing the actual work, real problem, right? A real project. Then 20% real problems. Okay, yeah. Then 20% come from other people. And this is mentor, peers, your community, and then accountability system or group or community as it were. So 70% of what you learn comes from doing the actual work. This is why, as you are learning, you need to work. Now, if someone say this course is 2 hours, I don't expect you to finish that course in 2 hours. You might even spend a month on that course, not because you are lazy, you are executing. Does that make sense now? As you are learning, you are pressure. If you and some person together, if keep rewinding, keep bringing it back to are able to get the concept, to be able to get what they are saying. Sometimes when I'm learning and I hit a particular something, a particular term, or something that I'm just saying for the first time, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to even now go to another place to even now learn more about that thing. And by now coming back to the actual course, it now makes more sense to me. I have not even read more than that thing. So 70% comes from doing the actual work. 20% come from other people, community, feedback from mentor, peers, and all of those things. And only 10% comes from former courses and books. I need you to understand this. If see, I currently picked up a book called, I don't know if you can see, Power of Self-Discipline by Daniel Walter, right? Now, this book is not voluminous, right? No. How many pages? Let me just check. It's 108 pages, right? Now, it's something that I can sit down and finish in a day, but it has taken me days. Not because I don't want to do that. This is because I really want to practice what I am learning. So you don't know how far you have gone, you don't know how far you will do, or how far you learn until you start practicing. I hope that makes sense. Now let's move on. Then the 10% comes from former courses and books. Now, most people get this exactly backward. They spend 90% of their time watching courses and 10% doing the real work. Then they wonder why nothing sticks. Now, the people who actually learn this flip, faster. They pick up just enough from a course, to building something, then build, and then they show their work to other people, and then they make adjustments, they make review, as they go on. So remember this: courses are the smallest part, project and people are the biggest part. Listen now. 70% of what you are learning comes from doing the actual work, real problem, real project. 20% comes from other people, and 10% comes from courses and books. And this is the model that organizations use to train their staffs. Now, I'm going to talk about the second model, but because time has gone already, I won't be able to talk on this. By tomorrow, which is day 8, I didn't plan this, but let's just move like that. So by tomorrow, we are going to look at another framework. But for today, we just look at the 70-20 model. That's the framework 1. There's still framework 2 and then framework 3. Because I don't want this to get any longer, this is where I'm going to stop. So by tomorrow, even though if you have questions, you can put down your question, and by tomorrow we're going to look at the questions and then we answer them together. I'm really intentional about helping you grow your career with AI, and this is why I'm going to be doing parts 3 of this. I might even do all through the week out 70-20 model. We look at other model, and then we look at other model. If tonight has been a valuable session to you, you can just take a screenshot, post on your status, tag people, and tell them this is going to be a continuous part. There's going to be part 3, if possible part 4 and part 5 of how you can build your career with AI. This is just more than AI course now. This is a personal session with you. Thank you so much. And I believe as you go and learn, just like we have said tonight, and think on what we have said, it's going to make more sense. And then by tomorrow, we get it even more deeper. Thank you for joining today's session. And then I'll see you tomorrow.